Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. What's good, fam? Hey, listen, man, first off, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. And like I always say, fam, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now, let me just make sure everything is copacetic before I continue. Make sure we got sound. Make sure we got... make sure we live, baby. You know? But yeah, we live. We live and direct, man. First of all, let me welcome everybody to the Boxing Blast, man. This is the Boxing Blast, man, and I'm going to talk about the latest headlines, you know, about the biggest faces in the biggest stories in the sport of boxing, man. I want to talk a little bit about Canelo Alvarez and who he's going to fight next, man. Everybody's wondering who he's going to fight next. You're hearing all these names. You're hearing Billy Joe Saunders. You're hearing Sergey Derevyanchenko. You're hearing, what's the kid's name? Now we're hearing Willie Monroe. And we're hearing the Darrell brother, man. I think any of those fights would be, you know, acceptable, except for maybe Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe is definitely the weakest link out of all those fighters right there, man. I think that, you know, if anything, Willie Monroe, you know, not to disrespect him, you know what I mean, because the guy comes to fight, the guy comes in shape, the guy, you know what I'm saying, he is a little slippery, you understand me? But I don't think he going up against Canelo, I don't think that he'll put up much resistance, man. We all know Gennady Golovkin. You can count Golovkin out. Golovkin and Canelo. At first, I thought it was because Golovkin seen what Canelo did to Sergey Kovalev, and Golovkin, you know, felt that his skills were slipping away when he fought Sergey Derevyanchenko. So I just thought in my mind that, you know, maybe Golovkin didn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he changed his mind about the fight, man. But then I heard from, what's his name, Roberto Garcia from Golden Boy, and he explained everything very well, man. He said that, you know, a fight of that magnitude, Triple G and Canelo, you know what I mean, they did so well in the previous gates that they don't want to do it without, you know, until things turn back to normal. You know what I mean? There's so much money involved that they didn't want to do it, you know, in the state of this pandemic. So that's reasonable. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's really, you know, bagging and clamoring for that fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think Triple G got robbed in the first fight. I think he was very close to winning the second fight. Could have been a draw, but, you know, I see no reason why people should hate on Canelo winning the second fight. I mean, it was that close of a fight. You know what I mean? But out of those four names, eligible names that I named, out of Billy Joe Saunders, out of Willie Monroe, Sergey Derevyanchenko, and the dog Darrell, I think that the most competitive matchup would have to be Sergey Derevyanchenko, in my opinion. Even though he would be coming up in weight, you know, he fights at 154. I think that, you know, him going up against Canelo, you know, the type of style that Derevyanchenko brings, you know what I mean, he's going to pressure. And, you know, Canelo sometimes he likes to box off the back foot, you know what I mean? We seen him do it all. We seen him use his lateral movement. We seen him step to fighters. And, you know what I mean, we seen him use both methods, in and out, you know what I'm saying? I would love to see that fight. I think it would be highly competitive. In my opinion, Sergey Derevyanchenko got robbed in that Triple G fight. I thought he beat Triple G. Nobody has ever made Triple G look so vulnerable, and Triple G definitely looked vulnerable in that fight. You understand me? he was folding over, you know, when Derevyanchenko would hit him. You know, Derevyanchenko was fucking Triple G up, man. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely fucking Triple G up. And, you know, Triple G got a gift, and he should be thankful for that gift. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as Darrell, man, I think Darrell could be a tricky fight for Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Darrell is a little over the hill, but he is a solid 168 pounder. You know, he's a real 168 pounder. He has good movement, great boxing ability. His jab is on point. You know what I'm saying? And well, he ain't moving too much these days, but you know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, he can give Canelo a really good fight. You know what I mean? I think he can give a solid showing of himself, man. Darrell has 2 losses, you know, one to Badu Jack, you know, and that was, you know, a couple years ago. Badu got the best of him in a very close fight, and the other was recently against Benavidez, a young, hungry Benavidez, where the fight was stopped on the cut. You know what I'm saying? Now, Benavidez started to get the better of Darrell before the cut stopped the fight. You know, understand what I'm saying? But the early rounds, Darrell was doing quite good for himself, man. You know, but the bigger, stronger, younger Benavidez, you could see he was starting to break Darrell down. You know what I mean? He was starting to break him down, man. Darrell says he wants a rematch. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to see that again. I think that the result will be the same, but I think he presents some problems to Canelo that the others don't, and that's his, you know, he's more lanky and long than the rest of them. He's taller than Canelo. We've seen even in the Sergey Kovalev fight, Sergey Kovalev, in my opinion, was winning that fight. You know, he was jabbing and boxing Canelo's head off, man, at times. You know what I'm saying? But he looked like he was pity-patting, like there was no power behind those shots. You know, a lot of people wonder, was the fix-in and all that type of thing right there, man. But one has to question, man, why those punches were so pity-pattish, if that's a word. You understand what I'm saying? Sergey usually throws his jabs and punches with force. If you remember, he dropped Andre Ward with a jab. If you remember, he stopped Anthony Yarde with a jab. And it just seemed like there was no power, no conviction on the punches that he was landing on Canelo Alvarez. Now, maybe it was because it was just such a quick turnaround between fights. You know what I'm saying? He only had, 8 weeks from the Anthony Yarde fight to the start of the fight with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So his body didn't have time to heal. You know what I mean? He only had like a couple weeks in between, you know, so maybe he was just burnt out. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, Darrell, I wouldn't mind seeing that. You know, I was listening to a couple people talk, you know what I'm saying that they don't want to see that. You know what I mean? They don't want to see Darrell and Canelo. They just think Canelo will run right through Darrell. I don't see it that way at all, man. You know, Canelo has fought at 175, 168, you know, and he has looked good at it, you know what I mean? But it wasn't for that knockout with Sergey Kovalev. I think that Canelo gave a terrible performance in that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he gave a terrible performance in that fight. As far as Billy Joe Saunders, I think he's suspended right now in the UK, right? I think he's suspended for, you know, Billy Joe's always doing some dumb shit, man. You know what I mean? If you can always count on Billy Joe to fuck up his bag by doing some dumb shit. You know what I mean? He did it with, what's my man's name? Boo Boo Andre. You know, he did it again right now with the Canelo fight. I mean, that fight was, from what I gather, was signed, sealed, and supposed to be delivered before the coronavirus hit, man. So I don't understand why they can't just pick up where they left off. You know what I mean? Billy Joe Saunders would be another good fight with Canelo Alvarez because of his movement. You know, Canelo has always shown to be sort of vulnerable to guys with movement. You know what I mean? You look back at the Laura fight, he had trouble with Laura's movement. He had trouble with Trout's movement, and we definitely know he had trouble with Mayweather's movement. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, Danny Jacobs, he wasn't able to capitalize on his movement, man. Danny Jacobs is a fighter. To me, Danny Jacobs has never really shown that third gear, you know what I mean, that every fighter has to have, that killer instinct that you know what I mean, you gotta show, you gotta have to win these type of fights, man. And Danny Jacobs just don't have that grit. He could not turn it up. You know what I mean? Just didn't seem like he wanted it as bad as he should have, man. You know what I'm saying? So therefore Canelo, you know, did what he did. And he won that fight convincingly, in my opinion. He also showed tremendous defense. I mean, the head movement that he was displaying in that fight kind of looked like reminiscent of Smoking Joe Frazier. I mean, no bullshit. Canelo was really moving his head really well in that fight, man. His defense is definitely up to par. You know what I mean? Canelo's a complete fighter. You know, he's definitely a complete fighter. He gets a lot of criticism because a lot of people feel he haven't fought nobody in their prime. You know, all the big names that he has fought, people say that they were at the tail end of their career, or there was a disadvantage in the weight. You know what I mean? It was catch weights or whatever you have it. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that, you know, should we see Billy Joe Saunders fight Canelo? I think that's a great fight. Andre Durrell. Is it Andre? I forget the one's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The dog, man. You know what I'm saying? Or the former WBC super middleweight champion of the world. I think he would be a great fight for Canelo. And Sergey Daronchenko, although he's coming up in weight, I think he'll be a very good fight for Canelo, man. You know what I'm saying? So any one of those fights I'll be happy with, but I just do not want to see Willie Monroe Jr. I don't want to see that fight. It's almost, you know, 100% that's Canelo will go in there and dog him. You know, Willie Monroe, you know, I don't want to disrespect the man too bad, you know what I mean, because he does come to fight, he is in shape, but he has no power, you know what I'm saying? He has no power to keep Canelo up off of him, man, and Canelo's going to keep attacking him, you know what I mean? He's going to beat him up, and I think he'll beat him up bad. I think he'll end up stopping Willie Monroe, you know. Although Willie Monroe is a little slippery, I still see Canelo Alvarez stopping him, you know. But we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. As far as the lightweights, man, you know, many people the question has been thrown around, who's the best lightweight? You hear all sorts of names being thrown around, man. You hear Devin Haney's the best. You hear Tank Davis, if only he can get his mind right, he's the best. You hear Vasily Lomachenko, not only the best lightweight, but he also the best fighter in the world. You understand me? And then you got Teofimo Lopez, the young, hungry phenom that's just, you know, talking all types of shit. People say he's the best. And then you got the social media king, the best Twitter, the best Instagram fighter, and that is Ryan Garcia, man. Now, you know, it's a little joke on Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia does have skills. He does have power, you know what I'm saying? But we just haven't seen him in that type of fight where we could say that he's the best. You know what I mean? That he's the best right now, you know? Out of all those names I just mentioned, Ryan Garcia is the only one who has not won a world title, you know? He has not won a world title, but the way he talks, you would think he won a world title. The way he, you know, acts like he's one of the top guys, you would think he won a world title or two. You would think he was in there with a fighter who have some type of name recognition. You know what I'm saying? We got that Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez fight coming up, and let me tell you, man, I can't wait for that shit, man. I cannot wait to see that fight between those two men. Mainly because Teofimo has been calling Lomachenko out for a couple years now. Before he had done anything in the boxing world, him and his dad was, on the rampage calling out Lomachenko. And Lomachenko says, all he wants to do when the fight's over, after he whoops his ass, is look him and his dad in the eye and see what they have to say now. You know what I'm saying? I believe they got under Loma's skin a little bit, with all the talking, with all the, brashness. I mean, those two dudes, man, talk a lot of shit, man. Especially the dad. I don't know if the dad be high or what. You understand me? I mean, he be talking big shit, like he the one fighting. He be spitting and shit, you know what I mean? He be, man, listen, man. You're not getting in the ring, man. Fall back and let your son enjoy the spotlight. There was a point in time after Tough Tio got married, he seemed a little humble. He changed his character a little bit. He wasn't talking shit, you know what I mean? He wasn't disrespecting nobody, talking bad to nobody, you know what I mean? And I thought this was going to be an ongoing thing. But now I look back at it, he was going through something with his family. His family did not approve of his marriage to his new wife. In fact, they didn't show up at the wedding. The only one there from his family was his father. And I hear that, his mom and his sister, they're real involved in his training camp. And to not have them there when he fought that Japanese kid, was a real hurt piece to him, and he did not look good in that fight against the Japanese kid. And a lot of people wrote him off, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he was a hype job, he ain't this and that. But then he comes right back next and fight the tough Richard Comey and knocks him out in the, second, third round. And everybody's back on the Tough Tio train again. You know what I'm saying? I like Teofimo. I like him in the ring, his skills. But, sometimes he can seem a little arrogant. He can seem a little cocky. You know what I'm saying? And that never, really been my type of guy. Just the way that he does it. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to do it, and the way he does it is just like he has no respect for nobody. You know what I mean? And to not really have accomplished anything, you know what I'm saying, I think is a little bit premature, man. But, we'll see. We'll see, man. I was watching the Lomachenko and Linares fight earlier today. Now, when I watched this fight live, it seemed like Linares was giving Lomachenko everything he wanted. It seemed like a more closer fight than when I watched it today. And I watched it today, man. Loma beat Linares' ass, aside for that 6th round where he dropped him. And he really dropped him. Loma was really buzzed. He was really buzzed in that 6th round. Linares was all heart. He was fighting. He won in the middle of the ring. He wasn't running around. And, he was standing there trading with Loma. And, he hit Loma, a couple times. And Loma respected his punches, especially after he got knocked down. You could see Loma wasn't as aggressive, but he was still landing them, dropping them bees on him, man. He was dropping them bees on him, and, eventually got him out of there. Now, originally I thought he had hit him with a body shot and stopped him, but, right when he stopped him, he had hit him with like a 6-7 punch combination, unanswered, and, in my opinion, Linares just quit. He went down and didn't want to get back up. The referee waved it off. Linares did not protest, you know what I'm saying? So, he was done. You know what I'm saying? So then you got my man Gervonta Tank Davis, man. Gervonta, if you don't know by now, everybody that follow my channel know, and I catch a lot of heat for it, but Gervonta Davis is one of my favorite fighters. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I just wish he would get his shit together, man. If Gervonta Davis can be 100% dedicated to the sport of boxing, I believe that, he'll be unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? I believe that, nobody in that weight division will present him major problems. Now I do consider, Tank. This is my top three: Tank, uh, Haney, and Loma. I can't even really say, man, because there's four. You know what I'm saying? There's four, man. Tough T.O., Tank, Loma, and Haney. All four of those dudes. Between one of those dudes, man, when the smoke clears, who's going to be left standing? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to have their hand in the air? I can't wait to see. And it all starts with Teofimo and Loma. Fault to vacation. What's good? What you found, fam? Hit 100 likes, but man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you stopping through. But yeah, Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, he's not ready. He is definitely not ready to jump in this mix, jump in this lightweight, the best of the lightweights. Ryan Garcia ain't ready for it, man. You know what I mean? He need a little bit more polishing. He's looking good. He's looking promising, but he need a little bit more polishing. So we're going to put Ryan Garcia up on the shelf for a little bit until he proves himself. I mean, he's calling out everybody and their mama. You know what I mean? But is he serious? You know what I mean? 1 minute he want to be buddies with Tank. I want to be a hitter like Tank. The next minute I want the Tank fight right now. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know what's up with Ryan Garcia. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to seeing who's left out of the lightweights when the smoke clears. In 2021, hopefully all four of these dudes will have fought each other, and hopefully, we'll see who's the man. You know what I mean? And then you got Lomachenko. Excuse me 1 second. All right, fam, I'm back. Excuse me, I apologize for that, man. But then you got Manny Pacquiao, Triple G. We've been hearing about this fight, the last week or two. Freddie Roach jumped all the way out there. I don't know what type of drugs and medication Freddie Roach is on, but Freddie Roach is talking about Manny Pacquiao may go up and fight Triple G. Now, I know marijuana is legal out there in California. I know they probably got all type of different strands out there, and I wouldn't mind knowing what strand Freddie Roach is on for him to say that. Now, Manny Pacquiao is still doing his thing at 41 years old, but, to go up and fight Triple G, it just seems highly, highly unlikely. I think Triple G will destroy Manny Pacquiao, and it wouldn't take long. Now, Manny Pacquiao is still kind of fast. He still can get in there and do that. You know what I mean? Land them combinations on him. But, as far as the third and fourth round, I don't see him making it to round 5, man. He's just not. Triple G hits too hard and he's too big. Even though Triple G is definitely showing his age, he is definitely on the downside of his career, even though he's younger than Manny. Triple G's 38, Manny's 41. But Triple G's last fight, Triple G did not look like Triple G. Now he's still tough as hell. He's still got a chin of granite, and he's still hungry. But his body's not holding up like it used to. Sergey Derevyanchenko, was Sergey Derevyanchenko just that good to make Triple G look like that? I think it's Triple G just showing his age, man. But Manny Pacquiao, Triple G, you won't hear no more about it from me. I do think it was just Freddie Roach feeling himself that day, feeling that California marijuana, or whatever type of strand he had out there. but it's highly unlikely that we'll see that fight, man. I mean, highly unlikely, man. So they need to stop that. What else I want to talk about, man? Dillian White, man. People, everybody talking about how unfair Dillian White is being treated. He recently was on the Ak and Barack show, and this is what Dillian White was talking about. Check it out.
I've been discouraged the whole time because, you know me, I never had no big amateur career. I never had no big promoters. I didn't win no Olympic gold medal, you know, and I've been written off since the day I turned professional. It's very discouraging, it's very disheartening, and it's very, I'm like, yo, it's like the one coward had the belt before, now they pass it to another coward that don't want to fight me again. It's all a bit mad. It's crazy, man. I don't know what the WBC's beef is, you know. I've done everything. I fought more top 10 contenders than Wilder and Fury put together. It's crazy. I want all the belts, so I want to fight for anyone, but in the WBC, I've done the most work for them, you know what I mean? I've won every single one of their titles. I'm eligible for apart from the world title. Right. I've been mandated to fight Tyson Fury for the WBC Diamond Belt. Fury turned the fight down. I've been trying to fight Deontay Wilder for 100 years now. I'm WBC intramural champion, WBC international champion. I'm WBC silver champion. I'm WBC international gold champion. I'm WBC all kind of champion.
Now, does Dillian White have a point? You know, does Dillian White have a point? One may wonder, you know what I'm saying? You look at the guys Dillian White has faced, man. Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, former heavyweight champion, knocked out Lucas Brown. What's the dude's name? Just fought Walk on three weeks notice. You know what I mean? One may think that Dillian White, one may question why Dillian White hasn't had a title shot. And I think a lot has to do with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn manages, promotes rather, Dillian White and Anthony Joshua. And, you know, Anthony Joshua is his number one priority. You know what I'm saying? Even recently, when Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, you didn't hear Eddie Hearn clamoring and speaking on Dillian White getting his title shot, being that he was the mandatory for the WBC belt. No, you heard Eddie Hearn trying to secure a undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. So Dillian White has always and will always, as long as Eddie Hearn promotes both of them, Dillian White's going to take a back seat. He's going to take a back seat to Anthony Joshua, man, and that's just the way it is, man. But you know, it is kind of disheartening and a little sad that Dillian haven't got a title shot, man. I do think Dillian is one of the better heavyweights out right now. Dillian White always comes to fight, always brings it. You know what I mean? He ain't shy about letting people know what he think. You know what I'm saying? He's real slick with his tongue. His mouthpiece is on point. You know what I mean? And his rumble game is on point, man. He come in there and he ready to rumble. You understand me? But you know, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. Dillian White, I think, should get a title shot. But now, Bob Arum has come out and said that, you know, once Tyson and Deontay fight, Dillian White, well, of course, Bob Arum thinks Tyson's going to win again, but he said, should Tyson win again, Dillian White's going to have to wait until Tyson Fury fights AJ. You know what I mean? That's definitely the bigger fight. We all want to see an undisputed champion. We all want to see Anthony Joshua in the ring with, no matter if it's Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. You know, we want an undisputed champion. And Dillian White just going to have to take a back seat and maybe a little bit longer. You know, I ain't saying it's right. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it's, that's the way it is, man. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. Dillian White will be all right. You know what I'm saying? Just keep winning, White. and your opportunity will come. Now, one thing that I think he did wrong was just going after the WBC route, because at one point I think he was high up on the WBA rankings, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? But he decided to stick with the WBC. As you heard on that clip I just played, he has won every minor WBC title that he can win. You know what I'm saying? But never was awarded the opportunity to fight for that, the full WBC title, man. You know, and whose fault is that? Again, I say I got to put a lot of the blame on Eddie Hearn. You know, Eddie Hearn is his promoter, and what's his name? Anthony Joshua is his number one priority, not Dillian White. So maybe Dillian White needs to think about changing promoters. Now I know he was over here in the States last year and act like he was shopping around for a new promoter. He was talking to Top Rank. He was talking to Al Heyman. He was, you know what I'm saying? They mean like he was talking to all these guys, man. But in the end, I just think he wanted to mess with Eddie Hearn, pull Eddie Hearn's chain, wake him up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And things like that there, you know. But right now, what I'm going to do is, there ain't a whole lot of people in the chat, but I do see people popping in and out. I'm opening up the phone lines, man. If, anybody want to have a topic they want to talk about, come on in, holla at your boy, man. But yeah, man, what else is going on in boxing? There's fight coming up tomorrow. Shakur Stevenson, man, he will be fighting Felix Caraballo. The two of them, they weighed in today. Both guys was on weight. I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. In the weigh-in, man, Shakur Stevenson is a big young boy, man. That boy is getting big. You know what I mean? I see why he moved up to 130. Now, he didn't quite drop his 126-pound title yet. He did say for the right fight he'll go back down to 126, but I don't believe that he'll get to fight with Josh Warrington, and I do believe that, he will continue and stay at 130. Now, he talked about fighting Gary Russell Jr. Now, that's a fight I would love to see. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that fight. Both dudes, highly skilled. Gary definitely got the skills to pay the bills, but Shakur, he got skills and he got youth on his side, man. And he's bigger than Gary. He's longer, you know what I'm saying? Both guys are fast as hell. That would be a real intriguing fight. Stevenson talked about how, Gary Russell knew all about him because Shakur often spars his little brother in his gym. You know what I'm saying? He comes to his gym and he spars him. So Gary knows that, Shakur ain't no joke. That Shakur takes the sport seriously. He takes his training seriously. You know what I mean? And he's going to be on point no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that caught my attention was Paulie Malignaggi, man. Paulie Malignaggi, yes, I gave him the clown of the town a little while ago. Now he's talking about Wilder again. You know what I mean? He says that Wilder should let Fury Joshua fight first, take something out of each other. Now, this is an interview he did with Keith Idec. I believe it was on Sunday. Paulie says, I think Wilder should let them fight first and then take on the winner. I don't see nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, maybe they take something out of each other by fighting each other. And then Wilder can come in and fight the winner for all the belts. That would make the fight between Wilder and the winner for undisputed, because the winner of that fight would have all the belts. You'd be allowing the heavyweight division to become fully unified. I think that would be an amazing, and you could create this big deal right here. Those are the words of Paulie Malignaggi, man. And I kind of wanna dig them. You know what I'm saying? I kind of wanna say that's a good idea. You know what I mean? I think that's a good idea because, you know, then Wilder only have to fight one fight for all the belts. You know, but the type of man, the type of warrior Wilder is, man, he ain't stepping aside. You know what I mean? He want Tyson Fury. He want that get back, you know, and whether, you know, you agree or not agree, that's just what he gonna do. You know what I mean? I don't think there's enough money to make Wilder step aside. Bob Arum already said, where the money gonna come from? You know, Bob Arum's a cheap son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum ain't trying to pay nobody nothing. When it comes to Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter, Bob Arum wants to know who's going to pay for it. You know what I mean? That's his favorite thing. Who's going to pay for it? Bob Arum ain't trying to pay nothing. That's why I think the fight between Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, that's supposed to be under negotiations, I don't think that's going to happen. You know, Terrence Crawford talked about how he ain't taking no short money. You know what I mean? He ain't taking no short money no more. He said those days is over with. You know what I mean? So I don't think Bob Arum's gonna take that hit. He ain't gonna take that hit to the pocket. So I think they're gonna wait. You know what I mean? I think they'll wait till you know, this pandemic is fully over and they can have fans in the stands, because there's too much money at the gate that you know, to miss out on. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see that fight. You know what I mean? But I just don't think we're gonna see it, not right now, not without fans. I think that fight means too much, man. It's a unification matchup. The winner of that fight will be holder of 2 belts. And you know Earl Spence got 2 belts. Earl Spence, the winner of Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, fights the winner of Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, for all the marbles. Woo! That'll be a hell of a matchup, man. Hell of a setup, man. You know what I mean? If only all the chips can line up. If only all the ducks can get in a row for us to see a fight like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we're gonna get it, but you know, we'll see. What else I want to talk about, man? I want to talk about a lot of stuff, man. But I think I went over everything on my list. Let me see. I think I went over everything on my list tonight. I'm gonna start doing this live a little bit more. I'm trying to be more consistent so people know I'm here. You know, right now people don't know that I'm doing this show. You know what I'm saying? So if you're here, spread the word, man. Next week I'm starting every Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I'm gonna be on here kicking this shit. You understand me? But no, I think that's it, man. I think that's it. But listen, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for coming through. You know, check me out on Instagram, on Twitter, at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll back.